All right, welcome back to another episode of the Cody Tucker Show. As always, I'm your host, Cody Tucker, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, the one and only Miss Kayla Wild. How are you doing?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm doing really well. Yeah,
Good.
really well, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing all right. We were talking
Good.
before this, and it
Yeah.
is Texas in the summer, so
Mm.
yeah, it's not really a great time, especially if you're just a big son of a bitch like I am. Um, Boy, it really creeps up on you fast.
You're sweating.
Oh, you have
Woo!
no idea. I mean,
Yeah.
it is,
Having to.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got so much goddamn baby powder down here. I could build a snowman. Yeah, it is
Oh
not
dear, oh
good.
dear.
Yeah, you'd think I'd do something about it, but I haven't. Not even one bit.
Apparently, you
Yeah.
can get Botox injected in your pits, and apparently it stops
Huh.
the production of sweat. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do that in your ass? Because that'd be
Oh,
more
oh God.
helpful. Yeah.
I'll ask. I'll ask.
Okay, please do. Yeah.
Botox doesn't even work on my head, so I don't even know if it would work on me at
Really?
all anywhere.
Do you get
Yeah.
Botox?
No, I'm resistant to it. I've tried. I
Yeah.
wish this is why I would love a facelift, to be honest with you, because I'm
Why?
36 now and because the wrinkles. And I just find that my eyes are heavy and I would just love that
Your eyes are
lift.
heavy. Oh, like the
Yeah.
eyebrow, like the brow comes in.
Yeah.
It doesn't look
Yeah.
like it. I mean, I'm not
No,
trying to like
thank
kiss
you.
your ass or anything, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Oh,
I
please
wouldn't.
do. I love the reassurance,
All right.
the validation.
Oh, like yeah, we have that in common. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
it's yeah, I can't imagine you would need anything like that. But I'm also
Thank
on the
you.
team of you're welcome. I'm also on the team of it doesn't really matter what other people think. Like if
Yeah,
you want to do it, do it. Because I
exactly.
mean, ultimately, who gives a shit? Like
Yeah,
it's your body, and you're the one who, looks at you. So if you want to
absolutely.
get
You're the
something
one you've
done,
got to live with for the rest of your life. You might as well make it
exactly.
a nice place to reside.
Amen. Yeah, I've made mine kind of a like a mixture of like a bouncy house and a water
Yeah.
bed, which is,
Oh, baby, that
I
sounds
mean,
juicy. That sounds
oh,
nice.
well, juicy is one way to put it, but yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Oh my
dear.
God. So before we kick into things,
Yeah.
go ahead and plug and promote anything you'd like. Where can people find you? All that good stuff.
Right. Yeah. Okie dokie. Thank you. So my Instagram is I am Kayla Wild. My OnlyFans is Kayla.wild, and I've just made a free page as well. Don't really have a clue what I'm doing, but I'm trying to navigate that. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm over on X, formerly known as Twitter, Kayla Wild XXX. And I think that is about it, really. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I only started out all on this and doing this like September last year. So, and it's all just kind
Really?
of, yeah, it's all just really
Jesus.
sort of kicked off. Yeah.
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
made quite a jump in what is that?
Yeah.
9 months?
Yeah.
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 God damn, that's pretty crazy. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
I mean,
you.
you're
Thank you.
everywhere. So
I know. I'm like, what is going on? But I'm
well,
like
uh,
rolling with it, and
hell
I'm
yeah.
sort of feeling into my body, and I
Mhm.
feel peace. So I'm like,
Good.
well, that's what I'm gonna go with and what I'm gonna follow and let guide me.
Yeah.
And I feel like finally, like I call this the reclamation of me,
Okay.
because I feel like so much stuff has happened to me that now I'm just sort of giving myself radical flipping permission
Yeah.
to be creative, to be sexy, to be anything I want as woman in this
Yeah.
world. And I mean, I've only just grasped that in my 30s, and I see so many females doing it at such a younger age. And I'm like, go on, how did you know that you
Yeah.
could do that then? And so I'm rooting for it, but I'm loving my journey now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because I think a lot of people look at, whether anything that has to do with like adult film, sex work,
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
and they just immediately think that it's a person with like low self-esteem or no
Yeah.
self-esteem, like who, like they a lot of people just go straight to the negative. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying there aren't some of those people, like I'm sure there
Yeah.
are, but
Yeah.
I think the vast majority are people who are so much more confident than the average
Yeah.
person. Like you kind of have to be. Like I mean,
Yeah.
like I would imagine you are probably more confident in yourself than most people.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, do
And
you think so or
I really don't actually.
really?
Like, do you know how I see it? Like, and I do think I'm a bit of a. I always say it's like a walking paradox because
Okay.
so many people say to me like, "Oh, you're so confident," and I'm like, if only you knew the narrative that goes on in my nut. It's so
Yeah.
different, but I think I've spent so long trying to challenge it now and overcome it that
Okay.
it all still goes on. But what I do is rather than sinking into it and letting it drive me, I
Mhm.
talk back to it, but I talk back to it nicely. And then that was like a key for me. It sort of
Yeah.
unlocked. And then the more I repeated that type of like practice as such within myself, I then I think you do esteemable things and it builds self-esteem,
Mhm.
and so that sort of practice of doing that then just enabled me to build a resilience within me that even though that goes on, I still can. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is a form of confidence for sure. Like
Yeah, I
resilience
guess
is.
so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Because
you're not
yeah.
giving up. Giving up is
Yeah.
the lack of confidence in yourself because
Right.
you
Okay.
have nothing to go for, so you just give up or you feel that way about
Yeah.
yourself. But if as long as you're trying to like improve and keep pushing, I mean,
Yeah.
means
I
you think
think within
something positive about yourself.
yeah, I think like there's this, no matter with all that goes on,
Hmm.
right deep in my like core, in my gut, is like this little flame of like belief,
Yeah.
and so I always kind of try to redirect my internal spotlight as
Yeah.
such back to there, even when the world is loud, the
Yeah.
stigmas, the judgments, the mental narratives, the conditionings you've gone through in society, culture, all of that I go, right, baby girl, and I sort of
Yeah. Yeah.
redirect it back to there and go, right, cool. And I try to like F off the good, the bad, the right, the wrong. And I think,
Right.
right, babe, what's the effective thing for you? What's the healthy, effective thing for you? And then I can make a move forward rather
Mhm.
than because if I think what's right, wrong, good, bad, how many people have told you?
Oh my
Do you
god,
know what
yeah.
I mean? It's like
Yes.
so I find that a better question for myself. I've worked out a new language that works for me.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's kinda the goal, so,
Yeah.
shit, you're doing pretty good with that, damn.
Thank you.
No problem. So, are you getting recognized a lot more? I imagine, like, that has to be kind of odd.
Yeah, it's strange because even over here in the UK, there's like Aldi and Tesco and like the food shop places,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I really notice now looks and
Yeah.
like odd looks, and I've had some people from who I knew in the past
Mhm.
reach out to me and
Oh,
say
yeah.
that things have been leaked on like, and they're going round boys' WhatsApps groups and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's a bit like, oh, because it's a lot of hard work. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
graft and it's editing and traveling and working hard and all that, no matter what anyone thinks. And then it's like, oh, then that's been leaked. But I've spoke to other people in the industry and they're like, it's always going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I think my life is so busy that I don't actually have like the space anywhere to
Mhm.
stress about it, really.
Yeah.
And I have had like some negative around that as well,
Mhm.
like toxic family members reach out to like friends of
Yeah.
mine and then they're like saying that, oh, you telling me we shouldn't be worried, like what the f is she doing? And then
Yeah, of
I mean
course.
calling child welfare on me and everything,
Oh,
like they've
Jesus
gone that
Christ.
far.
Yeah.
And it's just like wow, so it's obviously, look, it's out there and apparently it's going all around the town and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, all right, subscribe.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is supposed to be going all around
Yeah,
it's supposed to be
yeah,
going further than that, which, I mean, it
yeah,
is obviously, but Yeah, I can't. I would imagine you probably heard some wild shit from people. Do you
Yeah.
like? Do people ever say anything to you face to face?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Of course not.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I think I would rather that. Like I spoke
Oh
to a
yeah.
fellow creator this morning, and she said, "Yeah, like I would just rather than them messaging me and saying, 'Oh, I
Hmm.
saw you in town today.' It's like I'd rather they just come up and said hello. Do you know what I mean?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah.
definitely," because otherwise it feels like, do you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
sounds creepy. It's like, "I
Yeah.
saw you today." It's like
Yeah.
I'd rather you just
God.
go, "Oh, hiya, I know you from so and so," you
Yeah.
know?
Yes. I mean, what even for negative things?
No,
You
no, I don't know if I'd want that in my
No,
face, to be
I'd
honest.
rather that's what I'm saying, like, all the negative
Yeah,
shit that I hear about myself, I'm glad it's in my, DMs
yeah,
because
yeah,
I kinda think it's funny, to be honest. I mean,
yeah,
at first, it kinda bothered me where I was like, "Jesus Christ, people really don't like me," and then,
yeah.
I was, now kind of on the, you know, thing of just like, this is hilarious, like, people are very
Mm.
creative, like, about what they
Yeah.
say about me, which is very
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's so oh god, I can't imagine what your DMs are like. Holy fuck, you
Well, do you know what? Like, there's obviously so many in the requests, and I don't look through them or have
yeah.
time to look through them. And I must admit, like, dare I jinx it? I've been all right on like IG and that. Yes, I've had the odd remark and stuff, but pretty
Yeah,
much
yeah.
I've had a lot of love, like, and a lot of
Right.
niceness. But then I did have a particular person. I mean, the stuff that they were saying, and it was in a different language, so I had to press
Oh,
translate,
Jesus
and
Christ.
it was about like killing me
Oh,
and like me.
fucking
It was
hell.
just awful.
What
Yeah,
language
and
was it?
I don't actually know.
Oh,
I don't. It looked like Russian, maybe, or something like that.
hmm.
But I mean, you're asking.
Doesn't seem like the Russian attitude,
Maybe.
but maybe it is. Well,
It.
killing people, I mean, anyways.
Yeah. So that was horrible,
Yeah,
but and
that's yeah, yeah.
I think maybe the universe is easing me into it because it knows
Yeah.
I'm a sensitive Sally, and so maybe
Yeah.
it's just giving me some tick time right now until.
Well, that could yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, of
yeah,
course, people just because of like the work that you do, people are gonna
yeah,
be very judgmental about it, no
yeah,
matter what. I
definitely.
mean, whether
Yeah,
it's like your small level, medium, number one,
yeah,
like you're gonna be getting all kinds of bullshit from people, which
yeah,
is just how it
yeah,
is. I mean,
yeah,
anytime you put yourself out there, people are gonna the
yeah,
majority of people are gonna like it or love it,
yeah,
which it's harder to pay attention to those people, which is
yeah.
the shitty part of it, is that like you could have 1,000 people tell you like, "Oh, I love this, blah blah blah," and two people say this is the worst shit they've ever seen, and those
And
two
then mine,
people,
yeah.
oh yeah,
The mind will go, oh, yummy. This is
oh
what
exactly. Well,
I know.
whenever they've done tests on that where they're checking like brain function, and they'll give someone a compliment, and it
Right.
stays in their short term memory for like 10 seconds, but then they'll give
Wow.
someone an insult, and it'll stay in their short term memory for like 30 minutes.
Wow. Right.
So
Okay.
it does kind of make sense where it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's harder to pay attention to compliments.
Yeah.
Like,
And I
yeah.
think I think that type of conditioning's been done like from centuries back. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's just sort of like stitched its way into time and
Yeah.
grew along the way. And then yeah, it's quite hard to unlearn and rewire, and it takes like self
Yeah.
graft, doesn't it? Which
Yeah. Well, it you have to focus on the negative to an extent. Like,
yeah,
because if million or hundreds of thousands of years ago, people weren't focusing on the negative, we would have been walking off of cliffs and shit,
yeah,
getting eaten by
yeah,
lions. I mean, you
yeah.
kind of had to be like constantly looking for like bad things to happen.
Threat. Yeah,
So
threat.
it kind of makes sense. I mean, Jesus, I wish
Yeah.
that would have kind of gone away, a couple hundred years
Yeah.
ago. Would have saved my ass some trouble, but
Yeah.
Jesus. So do you do requests on your OnlyFans?
Well,
Like
like customs.
customs, that's goddamn, I
Yes.
always forget what it's called. Yeah.
Do you
Cu-
know what is so funny as well? Sorry, I'm a bit of an interrupter
oh,
sometimes.
you're
I've got
good.
ADHD. Even this morning, I had to do a custom request. It was requested a couple of days ago, and usually I'm quite fast. I know some people take a while to get back to them. I mean,
Hmm.
I bash them out quite quickly, but I had to set a time to do this one because it needed some planning. And so I had this huge mat out here and everything. I had shaving foam, custard. So this was, they
Custard.
want, yeah, they wanted like a role play of me like being on a game show and losing and being pied in the face and custard poured all over me. And I'd never done that. So I sort of
No.
just gave it my best shot, and I was like, right, I've got to do this in one take because otherwise I'm going to be covered in this shit. And if I do
Yeah.
it wrong, I'm going to have to try. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
But it actually come out really well, and actually it was a proper laugh. I got my other mate over, and she just stayed behind the camera and pied me in the face and poured custard. She was like, I feel bad doing this to you. I
Jesus.
was
How do I get her job? Because that sounds what I think I might be meant for.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
said that.
God, that's incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a laugh.
yeah, I mean, I think the human brain is just very fascinating. Like of
Oh
what
yeah,
people what does it for people? Because to
yeah.
me, I
That's all
imagine
right.
that the person who requested it, like there was something sexual in it for that person.
Yeah,
I would imagine. I mean,
I
but
assume being on there, but they didn't actually request anything sexy because I was wondering. I was like, do you want me to wear something sexy
yeah,
or do you
yeah.
want me, and I was like, when the custard's on, do you want me, do you know what I mean? I wasn't
Right.
sure. But actually he just wanted me to look like I was having fun and a laugh. But I guess for him that does something
Right. That's
stimulating for him. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying is like uh, like that's so fascinating to me. Like
yeah,
why does that do that for you? Like I'm not
yeah.
judging this guy. I mean,
No, no,
everybody has
no.
their thing, but like
Yeah,
there's nothing about that that would do it for me,
no.
you know? And,
It's funny.
like, cause I mean, I think I'm like kind of a sort of a meat and potatoes type fella, but I definitely, I have like little kinks, I guess, like anybody
Yeah,
else. But there's some where I'm just like, how the fuck is that your thing? Like, do you
yeah.
have that where like you see like a kink or a fetish and you're just like, how the fuck are you into this? Like, you're not
Oh
necessarily
yeah.
judging the people, but like what's one for you? Mine, I mean, I've said it a million times, but feet fetish, I think is the weirdest shit on the planet. Don't
Pe-
like it.
People love my feet. Like they
God,
love them. Yeah.
really?
Yeah. I mean, they are cute little size fours, and I think they're quite pretty feet, 4 feet. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think one of the ones I was asked, and I actually said no to, was wanted me to like get that fake cum stuff, put it over my face, but walk outside.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, mate, I have like 80-year-old neighbours. Could you imagine? Do you know what I mean? And I just, if it if I get a feeling like they're just trying to mug me off, I'm not
Yeah.
really into that vibe. And then I think that would affect me like mentally, emotionally. And then
Right.
I have to say, right, KK, you are not working out of desperation. Like you
Yeah.
like remember that feeling. And so then I
Right.
gauge that, and then I'm just like, that's just not what I'm
Yeah.
prepared to do. But
Yeah.
wanted
That is
people
a
around while I looked like that, you
well,
know?
that's a thing for a lot of people. I'll be honest, like
Is it?
I'm kinda into that.
Oh, see, I'd never heard of it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I like
Oh,
there's something about it that like so I did an interview, like did a podcast like I don't know, it was a long time ago with a actress named Marina Gold, and she does like a shit ton of videos like that. It's
oh,
called I think it's
really?
called like a cum walk. I mean, that's what they call it, like the
Oh,
genre of it. But it is I don't there's something about it that's like there's like because I'm attracted to anything that's like confidence. Like I don't give a
right.
fuck about
So
anybody
it's not
else.
mugging me off, it's me being
Well,
confident.
I don't wanna speak for, like, what that person's
No, yeah.
intentions were, because maybe, but I think to me, that's not what it is. It's you being
Oh, okay.
I don't give a fuck about what anybody else thinks. Like,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. There's like
Yeah, I
a
see that
sexual, like,
now.
liberation of it that
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I might be
Oh,
kind of fucked in the head, to be honest. So
no,
there's no,
I
I
I
wouldn't
understand that
gauge me,
now.
but yeah, no, there's a, yeah, that's definitely, it's a thing. Like if you go on the old hub
Mm.
and check it out,
Oh, okay.
there's lots of them.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
learning so much through this journey,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh God, I can't
So much.
imagine.
Like the glossary of words that there are and things. I'm like, I've
Yeah.
learned so much.
Oh, there's stuff that I'll see where I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
Like that's a
yeah,
thing. And yeah. Oh
yeah,
boy. Yeah, it's a I mean, just the whole world of it is so fascinating.
yeah,
Like it's just because obviously, like I said, people have a misconception about it, and
yeah,
maybe rightfully so, because people hear like horror stories that are usually from way the fuck
yeah,
back. Like it's not even like a modern. I think porn has become so much more of like a just a standard entertainment industry,
yeah, yeah,
So it has more of a it's not as like seedy as it probably was in like the 80s
yeah,
or even 90s, like where it was like, it might have been a little sketchy back then.
yeah,
But I think now, like, especially with people having so much control over their content, like with an
yeah.
OnlyFans, which I think is probably the best thing to ever happen to
Same, same.
porn. Yeah. Like that's because you've done, I mean, obviously done both. Like, I mean, you do your
Mm.
OnlyFans, but you've done like stuff with big production companies as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have a preference between the two?
Um, Probably. Well, yeah, my own stuff, because then obviously
Yeah.
I've got control over it. I've got the rights of it. Where
Yeah.
doing mainstream or paid shoots is great, but then you've
Mhm.
got that fee, and then that's it. And then
Right.
however it's edited, wherever it's put is like down to the company, obviously, and not you. So essentially,
Yeah.
you don't have any control. Um, so yeah, I've done a couple of paid shoots, and I've got a paid shoot tomorrow.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I mainly would do my own unless
Yeah.
it's like worth my time. And obviously, while I am, look, I'm not the OF rolling in it girl
Right. No, I
yet. Do you
got
know
you.
what I mean? But I
Yeah.
do well, especially within the months I've been doing it. I'm well chuffed with where I've got to in that
Oh
world,
yeah.
in that industry. And I'm like, go on, girl. Do you know what I mean?
Hell
Surprised
yeah.
myself. But in terms of um like getting financially free, I'm still doing that. So if that's going
Yeah.
to help me that month and to clear things and to grow, then
For sure.
I would consider it. Yeah, which I
Yeah.
never ever thought I would, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah, no, I just honestly, yeah.
So what I mean, so did you have like any idea that you would be doing like any kind of adult film work? Like,
No, no, no. Like do you know what? There was something in me
mhm.
that knew in the future, I'm talking about back however long ago, there was
Yeah.
something in me that wanted to liberate women sexually
Mhm.
in that realm, because I believed that if you could harness your power within sex and that sort of life force energy, that you can help, like, it might sound a bit cuckoo to some, but like I think there's
Mhm.
real healing in that. I
Without
really
a doubt.
do. Yeah, I really, really do. And then I did a diploma in Tantra. And honestly, as I was learning, even as I say it now, I get
Yeah.
goosebumps because the course was so amazing, and it literally made my mouth freaking water as I was learning all that Vedic stuff. And I'm not talking
Yeah.
about it in the Western world, but I'm
Right.
talking, like the real ancient stuff, learning it. And I was like, this is sensational. Like, this is
Yeah.
incredible. And I knew that there was something in me that liked being sex. I'd never really
Uh-huh.
actually enjoyed the act ever.
Really?
No, like, because it was always for them. It was never for me. I
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had never ever been asked consent. I had never before said, "Oh, can I do this? Can I do that? Do you like that?" And then for the
Yeah.
first time ever, I was experiencing these things in the industry, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, this is fantastic,
Yeah.
because for the first time in my life, I'm getting people asking me what I want, and I'm working out what I like and what I want. And
Yeah.
at 36, experienced my first big O.
That's wild.
Ever, not on my own. I can do it on my own, but
Yeah,
with a
yeah, yeah. No,
guy,
with a person. Yeah, yeah.
with a person, that was my first big O in a scene.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
It
and I
just
swear, never had one before with someone.
that's I mean, it sucks, but damn, that's I mean,
Yeah,
it's awesome that it fucking finally happened, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, holy hell.
I
That's
think if you have a lot of trauma or
yeah.
things from the past, I've heard, and from a bit of research that I've done, that a lot does, obviously the body does keep the score, like that book and all of
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah. But like I think women's hips can get tight. I think you can get like womb healing done. And I think something in there just is like that
Yeah, yeah.
and isn't allowed to bloom. And this is what I say, like when I'm working, or because I don't have that type of intimacy
Mhm.
in the world ever. It's just when I'm
Yeah.
working. Um, but like I call her she.
Yeah, yeah.
She will
Yeah,
not like open and allow you unless you tend to her. And I
yeah.
think so many just expect to go hello and like
Yeah,
steamroll
yeah.
in, and you're like, whoa, she's gonna push you the fuck out. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yes.
if you tend to her, and this is the thing, I think if you can promote sensuality and
Mhm.
genuine female pleasure and see what the mother freaking woman's body can actually
Yeah.
do, I think, mate, you are going to want to see that more than you realize.
Yeah.
It's just like anything in this world, anything that's a quick fix. And do
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It all seems good. But
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you just do take the bit of the longer route and the one that works a bit more, it's 10 times better. But I just think it's not seen that much or
I don't
promoted.
I've never understood that. So there's, it's like in movies, TV show, everything of like the whole idea of foreplay being dumb, like guys aren't into foreplay, like blah blah blah. I've never understood that. And I know it's
No.
true that that is how most guys
Yeah.
are, but like why wouldn't you want it to go longer? Like
Isn't it?
like to me, like I would want this shit lasting as long as
I know.
possible. Like I'm not
I know.
like it's just so weird to me. Like, how do you not enjoy like foreplay? That is
I
an
would assume
amazing
they
thing.
haven't seen what can happen with a woman's body, maybe. Or like maybe they feel a bit vulnerable deep down that they're not doing it good enough. And so maybe there's
Well,
some
that could be
unconscious
it.
thing going on. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like,
that could be it. I've
or just
never.
selfishness. I don't
I
know.
think I think that might be more than
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is more just as long as I get off, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Or they just
Sad.
assume that you would be getting off by the fact that they're getting off, which
I know.
is
That's what's been
hilarious.
sold. As if
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it just
hilarious.
honestly, like you've been sold a lie. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's like, oh Christ
yeah, it
alive.
is
Stuff needs to.
it's no, it is hilarious to me because, like, I mean, not trying to, like, brag about myself, but, like,
Mm,
to me, that's more fun than, like,
yeah.
actually I mean, this is gonna sound maybe a little weird, but I think, like, the foreplay part is more enjoyable than the actual sex sometimes.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah, like, like, all of it. I mean, all of it's fun. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to rush this thing along. I mean,
No.
unless you're like I mean, every once in a while, you go to, like,
Yeah.
an
You want a little
Applebee's or
quickie. Yeah.
you go to an Applebee's or something, you gotta, get one out. But
Yeah.
that's that's how it how it goes sometimes.
Definitely.
But yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, I think yeah, there's just not enough talk about, like, what people actually want sexually.
No.
And like, you're kinda told to not talk like, not ask. Like,
Yeah.
you're told to just kind of, like, don't ask, "Can I do this? Can I do this?" Like,
Yeah.
because then
Yeah.
that ruins the
And it
mood, which
doesn't.
is
It's
insane.
sexy. It's so sexy. Like if someone
Yeah.
goes, can I kiss you? Like to me, that's like, oh, flutter, flutter. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
juicy. I find it delicious. I just think there's been a narrative. And I think humans think they're like so in control and they think that they thought that up themselves. And I'm like, mate,
Yeah,
it's probably an adopted belief from way
for
back
sure.
that you've inherited as yours, and
Yeah,
you're not quite sure that you can critically think or challenge it. You don't
yeah.
even Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Without a doubt.
it's like, is that ability there within you to go, actually, is that actually what I believe? Or is this something I've just adopted from
Yeah.
along the way, from media or
Mhm.
people or whatever?
I think, and I've said this quite a few times. I think romantic comedies
Mm.
ruin like the way
Yeah.
that it actually works. Because in a romantic comedy, it's always the guy like just runs over and just grabs the girl and kisses her, which
Yeah.
and so then, but I don't think that's the way to go. Like from my experience, boy, that is a real letdown when that doesn't work. So I would
Yeah.
I would much rather just say like, hey, can I, and then get the the
Yeah.
go ahead or not. Like
Yeah.
yeah, to find out the hard way is not pleasant.
Well, even look at, what's it? The one, is it Snow White when she's asleep and he kisses her and all that? It's like,
Well, she's
no,
dead.
there was, or
Snow
whatever. But
Snow White, she's actually dead. Sleeping
who's the
Beauty,
one?
she's asleep.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, where was the consent? Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like that. And I know it might seem a bit like out there what I'm saying, but there is like a little sort of subliminal internal message that
Yes.
you can internalize there to think that,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Well, especially
And
because
there's
you're
there's a
watching.
lot.
Well, and you're watching it whenever you're fucking 6 years old, which
Yeah,
your
exactly.
little dumb 6-year-old brain is gonna turn it into who the fuck knows what. I mean,
Exactly.
I've the things that I have believed or not believed because I heard about it when I was a child is staggering.
Yeah.
I just okay, little embarrassing moment, but fuck it.
Okay.
I just found out maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago
Right.
that men and women have the same amount of ribs.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Oh, there was some that used to be a thing, didn't it? Saying,
Con-
did women have less or something?
always,
Yeah.
my entire life was told that men and women have different amount of ribs because of the Bible.
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
That like
yes.
that that explained why women have a less amount of ribs. And I found out about 2 weeks ago that that is not the
Yeah.
case. Which
But it's like even
yeah,
being sold the story that Eve was the naughty one and bit the apple, but
yeah,
men are the ones with the Adam's apple. So
yeah,
all of these messages are so conflicting and
right,
confusing, but you're not meant to ask any questions. You're just
exactly.
meant
Well,
you're
that's
just meant to follow suit.
yeah. Well, I mean, and then that goes into a whole history of
Yeah.
just of men kind of dominating women, like
Yeah.
keeping
And
submission
abuse
and all
of
this stuff.
power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which man, I think
Yeah.
I mean is complete bullshit. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, anybody that's in control is going to do whatever the fuck it takes to maintain
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I understand it, but doesn't mean it's not
Mm.
still like super shitty. But that is, yeah, that is, I think, a lot of the positivity that gets overlooked when it comes to like porn, sex work, whatever it may
Yeah.
be, is that you know that is how people should be.
Mm.
Like people should feel super comfortable to
Yeah.
talk about sex, to have sex, whatever, obviously safely and everything, but still like
Yeah.
there's still that just weird Puritan idea
Mm.
of like, oh, sex is bad, it's
I
evil. Like
know.
unless you're trying to have a kid, it's evil.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
know.
oh, god
But then
damn.
you're judged for having a kid as well.
Well, yeah,
Whether
yeah, I
you're
know.
too young, whether you're too old, whether you're on your own, whether you've been split up,
Yeah,
you can't win. So you might
yeah.
as well fuck it and do whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've been judged regardless.
Oh, yeah.
I've been called every name under the sun when I was trying to be a perfect little good girl.
Hmm.
And so it's like there's no difference. You're
Yes.
gonna be most likely judged either way. And like what you were saying a moment ago as well, like girls and women aren't even like taught about their anatomy.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Hell
Like
no.
I think haven't medical tests or whatever only been started done on female bodies from 2016, I think. I think that's
Really?
what, yeah, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like in terms of I think medications and treatments and stuff,
Hmm.
I think they've finally started using like the female body because the
That's
males was the
that
superior.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, yeah, I don't know about like how school was for you, but I
Oh,
remember well, yeah. But
yeah.
we had like I mean, we never had a discussion about sex, whether, in a scientific way or not,
Mm.
until I was probably 13 or 14.
Yeah,
By then I
same.
had already had sex. Well,
Yep.
14. Yeah. So
Yeah, I was
like
13. Yeah.
it was a little too late
Yeah.
for me to learn any of this shit. And boy,
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I had sex, it was a complete disaster. And it would have been great to know some of these things.
Yes,
Like where
exactly.
things are. Like
Exactly.
like I mean, another kind of embarrassing moment, which, I try to come across as being intelligent sometimes. I really am not. I guess we're about to find out. Yeah, you'll hear this. So I didn't know that in the female vagina, or I guess
Hmm.
all vagina female, but anyways, that like the urine hole is
Hmm.
different than the sex hole.
Yeah.
Didn't know that
Yeah.
until
Loads
I'd
of
say about
people
3 or 4 years
don't.
ago. Yeah, it's probably about
It's
3 or 4 years
mad.
ago when I found out and I was like, I've stared down the barrel of a few of them, not to
Yeah.
brag, but still no idea that those are two different spots. Well,
Mental, right?
I just thought it all came out the same place because it does for a guy. I mean,
Mm.
uh, boy,
Have you watched the documentary on Netflix? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Sorry, on here. If I'm not, you can edit it out.
oh,
But
I don't give a shit.
the Principles of Pleasure.
I have not.
Oh my
I haven't
God,
even heard
watch
of it.
it. It's so
Okay,
good.
I'll
So
check it
good.
out.
Really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it
And it
kind of
goes
goes
through all
into
the anatomy and everything, and
okay,
how men and women basically, like, before you're born and that, they're all exactly the same.
yeah,
It's just that, like, a willy grows from what a clit is. But do you know
yeah,
what I mean? It's like all the same, like, anatomy, and until that bit or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
They
We're
explain it way better than me.
all inherently female, and then there's a gene that
Yeah.
comes in to turn you
Yeah,
male. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Jurassic
I just
Park.
love it
That's
all.
all.
Anything science and spiritual and fuse
Yes,
it together, like I'm here for it.
I'm fascinated by
Same,
anything like that.
same.
What's another like just weird ass request that you've gotten for a custom, like where you're just like,
Um,
holy fuck, I don't know about this one.
well, shall I tell you a story when I used to do webcam?
Uh, Shit, yeah, whatever you want
Yeah.
to do, yeah.
So he wanted to put an elastic band very tight around his balls. Then he
Okay.
had 3 condoms laid out, apparently with different people's fluids inside. Then he wanted to be instructed what to do and when to then drink said fluid. Oh, and sniffed poppers.
Well, of course, yeah,
Oh, and
yeah.
another one wanted a milking machine. And apparently there's
What the
an
hell?
app or something that I didn't do it,
Yeah,
but he was asking and asking, and I was like, "No, I didn't know or understand." And then
yeah.
I think there's something then you can have on your phone, and it then controls a machine
Oh yeah, yeah,
on him.
yeah, yeah,
And I would assume it's like, like udders of a cow. That's the only thing I had in my head when it was talking about milking. I didn't
yeah.
understand. And then, yeah,
A
and wanted you
milking
to,
machine. God
yeah,
damn.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I know what I'm adding to my you know, my Christmas list this year, but
Your Amazon wish list.
oh yeah, yeah. I know what I'm asking Santa for Christmas this year.
Yeah, yeah,
Old
yeah.
Saint Nicholas is gonna have they're gonna have an
A
interesting
shocker.
time. Yeah. Oh my God, that is
He's probably got one
amazing.
himself.
Oh well, of course. I mean, he's been around so long. You gotta try everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do
Mrs. Claus got to be all
you
done
think
by
they're
now.
polyamorous?
Yeah. I mean, all those little elves. That's got to be tempting.
Yeah, it's
I
got to be.
mean,
Yeah.
you stack about 6 of them on top of each other. I mean, yeah, you go. Put a little trench coat over them. You're good to go. Oh my
Jokes.
God. Yeah,
Jokes.
that's boy,
Where is
that's
this gone?
interesting. Huh?
Where is this gone?
Oh, no. I mean, welcome to the show. It's just kind of a
Yeah,
big
I like
clusterfuck of
it.
who knows what.
Suits me well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I mean, I don't really have I try not to really like map anything out, because
Yeah.
then it turns into like I'm fucking Barbara Walters or something, which
Yeah.
I mean, despite the obvious similarities, I'm not. But yeah, that's goddamn a milking machine. How about
I
that?
know. I
That's
know.
something. Are Do you watch porn on your on your own time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I try not to. The thing is, now I don't want to. watch people or creators who I know should really be getting paid. Do you know what I mean? So there's a different way
Okay.
I look at it now, because like I want them to be getting paid.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
I'm
yeah, for
watching
sure.
something, I
Yeah.
I want to get to a point where I'm financially free enough that I can have one of those monthly subscriptions to one of those porn sites. There's one that's run by a woman or something, and it's all very sensual and
Okay.
consensual and all of that. But I mean, they're quite pricey per month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah, yeah.
mean? Um, but I do, even back in the day. So I used to have addiction problems.
Mhm.
I'm nearly 10 years clean and sober next
Fuck
month.
yeah.
Thank
Damn, that's
you.
awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got sober at 26. I don't know if you can see, here's my sobriety date.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um I
Oh,
used to
so
like,
did I. Yeah,
oh
26.
really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I used to drink and then sniff loads of cocaine. And I think,
Hell
as
yeah.
most people, if you've been in that and you're in that weird paranoid, like rigor mortis
Uh,
state where you can't move, do you know what I
yeah.
mean? And your window peeking in your pants, do you know what I mean? Thinking
Oh,
SWAT
yeah.
teams are out for you. You know, that
Oh,
sort of like psychosis.
yeah,
I know that shit well.
yeah, that's Thanksgiving at the old Tucker
Yeah.
household. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then what do? You masturbate, don't you?
Oh,
In that,
amen.
because it's something to do, or like
Yeah.
something to exert that like nutty energy you've got going
Yes.
on stuck inside. And I used to do that. And you know what? I had a nasty, nasty, right abusive ex who then used to open our flat doors and shout out to everyone that that's what I was doing. Like, how nasty. Do you know what I mean? What a prick.
Holy
What a prick.
fuck.
And back
That's
then,
wild.
yeah, evil. But back
Oh
then,
my
I
God.
was so vulnerable. Like, if you knew the girl I was then, like I could
Hmm.
cry for her. Do you know what I mean? Like, she looked like a shell of who I am now. Like, my
Yeah.
hair would fall off, my skin looked grey.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
was
Yeah.
really weird, like a creature of the night. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very strange, strange
Yeah.
behavior. And like that sort of, that addiction that gets so bad, you're trying to kill yourself.
Yeah.
I used to run like 5 baths and not be able to get in one of them. And then I'd change my clothes and think, right, what else can I do? And volume 1, and that's too loud, volume down, that nutty place of drug induced psychosis
Yeah.
stuff. And he was awful. He used to open the flat doors and shout out that I was in the living room flicking the bean out of my
Boy.
nut. Yeah, nasty
That
piece of
is.
work, mate. And the shame. But you
Oh,
know what? I
yeah.
think that shame and that humiliation was a pretty big catalyst to go get help, because in the end, I was totally on my own.
Yeah.
He'd nearly killed me numerous of times, and then just got to a place where it was like, white flag, I can't fucking do this anymore.
Yes.
And just thinking, I felt like I was see-through, and like you could just look inside me, and it was
Yeah.
so uncomfortable. And then that was it. I started like going to CA and all of that, and just
Mhm.
threw myself into it. And then I've been sober ever since. And
Damn. That's
yeah,
the crazy thing about it, is that you do have to hit rock bottom,
yeah.
but sometimes
And
it's
a
like,
few trap doors, mate. Do you know what I
well, yeah,
mean?
I know exactly. But like once you hit it, you're like, boy, I kind of wish I would have hit this a lot earlier. like I
Yeah,
kind of wish rock bottom happens fast.
yeah.
Like, because that's how it kind of was for me. Not that I mean, I don't know that I necessarily hit a like full rock bottom. It was, or like, I wouldn't say there was like a single event,
No,
but
yeah.
it was more just like kind of waking up one day and be like, this kind of sucks. I mean, all I did was drink. I didn't do like coke or anything else.
Mm,
Uh, like just out of fear, really. I mean, definitely would
mm,
have tried just about anything, but yeah, just drinking like fucking crazy, and
yeah.
would wake up and be like, boy, I am not enjoying this anymore. Like it was
And that's
fun
when you
for a
know there's a
while.
problem, don't you?
Yes.
If like can you stop on your own accord when
Yeah.
you want to? No,
Yeah.
right, there's an
Oh,
issue. Do you know what I
oh yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Once I started drinking like every day just by myself, just
Mm,
like I would put on a podcast and listen to a podcast and get drunk as though I
mm,
was like in the room, which
yeah,
is, and then
yeah,
you do that for a couple of years. You're like, well, I think I might be, I think this might not be a good way to be living.
mm.
So it kind of worked, but I mean, I'm glad I did it. I mean, you get
Yeah.
through it and you're good to go. But yeah, definitely some close calls where it's like, boy, I
Yeah.
could have. Yeah, I used to have a real habit of drinking and driving, which feels
Yeah.
pretty disgusting to even like say out loud. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but I think about that, and that's like one of the main things that keeps me from ever like drinking again. Is I'm
Mhm.
like,
Mm.
what if like I got very lucky to have not died in a
Yeah. Of
fucking car wreck.
course. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I start drinking again, I might not be that lucky. And
No.
so I kind of,
It's like Russian roulette, isn't it?
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
yeah.
good God. Yeah,
Mm.
that's something. So I have a couple of random questions
Go
to,
on.
uh, add some levity, I guess. God damn. All right. So I was not, not expecting to go down. Yeah.
This is what happens when you talk to me. It's like, where are we gonna go? Where are we
Yeah.
gonna go?
Well,
What
I
route?
tell you, I was not expecting to talk about my drinking and driving habits, but hey,
Sods.
but I'm glad I did. I mean, people should hear it. I mean, it's not a, I
Yeah.
mean, I am embarrassed by it because it's just such a
Yeah.
stupid thing to do, but I'm not
Yeah.
necessarily embarrassed to like talk about it because
Yeah.
there probably
Well,
are
look,
people who,
I talked about masturbation with myself at my nut. So if there's
yeah.
anyone to be embarrassed, it's me. But it's like,
Mm,
look, if someone can relate to it and then it plants a seed, fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
amen.
I think people look at me, assume one thing, expect certain
For
things, and it's
sure.
like you've got no idea, mate. Like we can delve into like a 5-part film here if you really
Yeah.
want, and we can discuss so many things. And it's like if I can just help one person that hears it by going,
Hmm.
"Oh, I really relate to that," and she
Yeah.
managed to do that. And don't get me wrong, like you said, I'd love to get it earlier. But I think when I got sober, I then had to do 4 years trauma therapy, a load of EMDR, peel all the onion layers off, and now
Yeah.
finally I'm here. This is why I call it the reclamation.
Yes. Yeah. That's, I mean, yeah, it sucks that it takes as long as it takes, but
Yeah,
but then,
it's
once it
worth it.
happens, yes, it's
Yeah,
so worth it whenever you're like,
yeah,
holy shit, I'm here, I made it, I'm
yeah,
alive. And now like look at you. I mean, you're night and day different. Like,
yeah,
success wise, probably how you feel
yeah,
inside, outside. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it just sometimes it feels like a different lifetime whenever you
Honestly,
look
I
back.
feel like I've had about 13 different lives.
Same.
You know, it's
Yeah.
mad. I'm like, who is that? When I look back at
Yeah.
that or that, and I'm like, what? But it's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool, it's like, this is nice. Like, this is funky. Like, this
Yeah.
is, where's it going to
Yeah.
go?
I know. I mean, and with being able to like kick all the bad shit from your life, like I
Mm.
mean, you're going straight up, I would
And
imagine.
I feel like it's my time. Like, I sort of released myself from so many toxic people and relationships and
Hmm.
such abuse. And then I was so determined that no fucker was ever going to abuse their power over me again.
Yeah.
That's the point I
Hell
fucking
yeah.
got to. And I'm like, fuck this. And
Yeah.
I'm on my own, looking after house, kids, da 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 da. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I am gonna make sure I've got a safe, secured, protected without relying on any other fucker who then can be nasty to me and abuse me. And there was
Yeah.
too many people that had done that to me that then I was like, had enough fire in my belly to just fuck what everyone thought, go for it. And
Yeah.
I'm earning the most I've ever earned in my entire life.
That's amazing. God
Yeah.
damn. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Which,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Do you sleep with the TV on or off?
Off.
Really? Damn.
Yeah. I watch a true crime doc, get to the end,
Hmm.
and then I turn it off before I actually then
That's
snuggle in.
amazing. Can't do
Mm.
it. No, can't do it.
Really?
Fuck no. My brain, I do not want to be alone with this thing. So
Oh, okay.
I gotta have something going on at all
Okay.
times. I'm not
Yeah.
a meditative person. I need to. I definitely need to, but yeah, I can't fucking do it. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Oh goodness. Oh God. It was probably the one person that comes to mind was Mark from Take That.
Ch- Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I just remember that. There was probably someone else or other ones. I
Not
was
like
obsessed with Britney when I was little. I had the like pink
yeah,
pigtails
yeah.
and all of that and doing the shows. But in terms of a boy crush, I remember Mark from Take
Not
That.
like Robbie Williams.
No, it
He's
actually wasn't. Yeah,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it weird to you that he's not a big thing in the US? Like, nobody gives a fuck about Robbie Williams in
Who?
the US. Robbie Williams, or Take
Right.
That, I mean. Yeah, nobody gives a
Yeah.
fuck about him in the US. Like,
Right. Okay.
it's just is that weird? It's always weird to me whenever certain people are just massive in, like, the UK
Yeah.
and no one gives a fuck in the US or vice versa. Because it just seems like that should translate evenly, you know?
I must admit, I don't even think about it.
Mm. Well, that's probably for the best.
Yeah, I don't
I
actually
think
know.
of things
I don't know
too
what I
much.
think about it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've never thought about it.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's probably
yeah.
the way to be. I should probably not think about shit like that because, yeah,
I
I need
watched
to
his
probably take.
documentary though, and doesn't he live in America?
Oh yeah, yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but that fucker could walk into a Walmart right now.
What,
Nobody
and
would have
no
a
one would
clue
know
who
him
he
at all?
was.
Oh,
Hell no,
really?
no, hell
Oh,
no.
okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I mean, maybe I might be wrong. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
a bit of a dipshit in a lot of ways, so there's that.
Right.
What's something that instantly relaxes you? Like any
Essential oil.
Oh, essential. Does that work for see, that does that shit. I've
I
tried
just
it so many times and it does not do anything for me.
something about the smell of the Serenity one. I don't know what, it just does something to me. It's just the
Yes.
first thing that came to my mind. There's
Yeah.
probably a lot of other things like I like
Well,
ambient lighting. I like my
that's a
incense
good one.
on. I like, I like that. I tell you what, a spa, anything that feels like a spa,
Ah,
um,
gotcha.
I'm there
Yeah,
for
see,
it.
I have
Yeah.
this one. It's like a stress relief essential oil. I mean,
Oh, I have these.
it doesn't
My
really
friend, my
smell.
friend makes me these sprays for me. This one's Balance, and I sprayed it all over myself before we
I think
started.
I tasted it more than I smelled it just then.
That one's got blue
That's not good.
tansy and Moroccan tansy and frankincense in it. It's lovely.
What the fuck is frankincense? I mean,
I
as a
don't
person
really
who's read the Bible
know.
a few times, just for fun, I don't have a goddamn clue what frankincense or myrrh is. Like
No, I don't.
if I was baby Jesus, I'd be pretty upset that I didn't just get 3 sets of gold. Like, hey,
Yeah.
go and keep the fucking frankincense and myrrh bullshit. Just give
Yeah.
me the gold.
Do you know what? I even went and got baptized in 2014 after I got sober. I tried everything.
Really?
Yeah, I
Did
went
that
on
stick?
a
I mean, if it did,
I
it
was
did.
I
But
was told by my first sponsor that I was going to go to hell because I'd had sex before marriage,
wow.
and it
I mean, you'll
shit
be
me up.
there. Yeah, you'll be there with about 90% of the people who have ever lived. So
Yeah.
how
And
about
then
that?
I used to I don't mind a little sing song, I don't mind getting my hands up in the air and having a little sing song and all of that. I consider myself like a library full
Okay.
of faiths that I just like learning about. But ultimately, what there
I
is there's a love in me that I'm a part of the one.
yes.
Yeah, it's hard to
I
explain.
know that makes perfect sense. I'm the same way.
Okay,
I
cool.
love reading about religions, but I'm not
Yeah,
religious. I don't.
no,
If I had to pick one, I'd probably go Catholic because it's
yeah,
terrifying, and
yeah.
I love
I
horror
was gonna
movies.
say
Yeah,
what?
I love horror movies, and anytime I've seen
Ah, right,
like a Catholic mass, I'm like, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. It's like something from
right.
Star Wars, and so I
Okay.
would definitely be into. I like the tradition and the ceremony of things, like
Right,
if that
right,
makes
right, right,
sense.
right.
Like we have like a thing here. Everybody's like Southern Baptist in Texas,
Mhm.
which is, I mean, I don't know if I'd even call that church. I mean, everybody's wearing like denim, like blue jeans
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That ain't fucking church. Now,
Yeah.
granted, Jesus was wearing like fucking rags and shit, but
Yeah.
you should be dressing up and
I've just seen so many things or like cult stuff that are all then tied to different like all the religion, and then it's like Jesus, it's like mass control of like just infiltration of fear, isn't it? For you to
Yep.
comply and obey. And then as time went on and I sort of unlearn and rewire so much, there was a penny drop moment where I was like, it doesn't
Yeah.
need to be conceptualized with my mind, because how the fuck
No,
can you have it as God if you could fully understand it, if I'm making sense, like it's
that
too
makes perfect
profound.
sense.
So it's like
Yeah.
the paradox of life, like it's full of all paradoxes everywhere,
Yeah.
is that to understand it means you don't have to fucking understand it. You don't have
Exactly.
to know it all, or my view's best, or I'm going to impose this. It's like just this ability to balance and, check in with self and feel that
Yes.
you're part of something, but yet it's hard to explain, but
No,
I know I can feel it.
no,
Yeah.
you're explaining it. That's exactly right. I do think that at some point I would like to start a cult. I think
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Well, my family. So I said to my family at one point, and sometimes I think, should I say this? But I asked for some space nearly 2 years ago because the behaviours that were around my child, when you can finally advocate for someone, and
Yeah.
rather than ever advocating for me, I had this kid and I'm finally advocating for him, but then the little me inside feels that same relief that because I'm giving it to him. So it was quite a healing
Mhm.
thing. And I just said, look, I just need some space. But like when a cult then loses control over you and they spiral and go
Yes.
mad and they've got like detectives out on you or
Yeah.
trying to bring you back into the fold, mate, this is how they acted. It was insane.
Oh
And
God.
they went around and told everybody that Kayla's in a cult, apparently some life coaching cult called Lighthouse. I didn't have a clue what was going on. I was getting these text messages like, what the fuck is this? And then my friend who used to be like a journalist with the
Mhm.
BBC, she was like, Kayla, that's a life coaching cult. We done a story about that. I was like, what? And she sent me an article and I was like, are you fucking joking? But
Holy
when
hell.
people are acting like a cult themselves and then they don't, and because you're a bit of a whistleblower and truth teller, it's like, quick, tell everyone that she's mad, like the
Yeah.
crazy girl,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
psycho, the same sort of narrative shit. So then if she ever talks to anyone, no one will believe her. It's that narrative.
Yeah.
I know,
Right.
I
Right.
know what they're doing. And then
Yeah.
for operating like that, I was like, do you think I can ever come back to you now?
Yeah.
No, I can't now. So now I'm
Yeah.
totally estranged because all I wanted was fucking space.
Well, they expect you to get to like a point of so like helplessness that you will like come like
Yes.
crawling back.
And
And then
all
they have
that
you forever.
Munchausen-y stuff, it's like they love it
Yes.
when you're
Oh my God, it
suffering
is.
because then they
Yeah.
feel needed. And it's like,
God.
how can you not see your own patterns?
Yeah. Well, oh, that's the hardest thing to do for someone. It's easy to
Yeah,
see everybody else's patterns. It's very
yeah,
easy to judge other people. I do it
yeah.
all the time.
Oh,
Uh,
same.
but
But I
it
can
is
intervene,
oh yeah, yeah. But then whenever
you
people will
know?
like say something about me, like say like, why do you do blah blah blah? I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I've never done that.
Yeah.
Like you do it all the time. Like,
Ah,
I guess I
okay.
do. Yeah.
But I'm willing to listen to that as
Oh
long as
yeah,
it's
yeah,
done
yeah.
in a like a healthy way. Me
Yes.
and my friend can do that with each other and stuff,
Yes.
or we'll discuss something if we feel a boundary was stepped over. And I'm not saying it's all got to go
Mhm.
perfectly, like we are humans on planet
Right.
Earth, but like you ain't got to be nasty, have you? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And there's the difference.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I always want to know. It's just I
mm,
usually am not picking that up on my own. You know,
yeah,
it's like, the same way you don't know what your own voice sounds like until you hear
mm,
it. But somebody,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
like, anyway, yeah, that's,
I'm
would,
always thinking. I remember saying to my therapist once, "God, am I a narcissist? Because I do that." And she's like,
yeah,
"Well, at least you're questioning it, because I don't think one actually would maybe
no, they
question it." And
wouldn't.
I'm like, "Oh, okay." But
Not at
I'm
all.
aware that people have all got traits and da, da,
Mhm.
da. I know I can be this. I know I can be that. There's the difference. And it's like
Yeah.
when I'm speaking with my kid, and if I do something or I've not been as well balanced one day, I actually sit down with them and apologize and go,
Yeah.
I
Oh
know
my
I done
God.
X, Y, and Z, and I'm gonna try to do better.
Yeah.
No one ever
Boy.
fucking ever apologized to me.
No. I was just gonna say, I was like, wow, I have never been apologized to
Never. And it's like,
hardly anyone, especially my parent, for
but
like
kids learn most by example, don't they?
yeah, which is why I don't
So
ever apologize to people. I never think I'm doing anything wrong.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
always
that's
questioning myself or
no,
doubt myself.
I do. I mean,
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't apologize very much because usually I do
Yeah.
think everything I say or do, I meant to do it. But
Yeah.
that's usually because I've thought about it a
Mhm.
thousand times before I did it.
Mhm.
Like yeah, because I overthink fucking
Yeah, yeah,
everything.
same, yeah.
Would you rather go 100 years in the past or 100 years in the future?
Oh, future.
Really? Oh, I do not want to do that.
Yeah. I
Why?
don't wanna
Why
go back.
future?
Just because it seems to be going well for me now. So it's like
Well,
I'll keep going that way than
that is a
than
good
the
point.
painful way. Do you know what I mean? Too
But a
much
hundred,
pain back there.
well, 100 years in the past. I mean, you weren't even around.
Oh,
This
I
would be going.
suppose.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
1924. God
Oh
damn it! If
God, yeah,
if
but I'd probably
you
be burned at the stake,
if
wouldn't
you went
I?
back to 1924, I mean, there would
She'd be
be
like, "Witch,
riots.
witch."
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, all of the UK would be in flames. Like
That's
if
what I'm
if you went back,
saying.
holy fuck, yeah.
Exactly.
What's your favorite? I mean, I know I'm pushing on time. Do you have? Are
Yep.
we good? Okay. What's your favorite accent or the sexiest accent? Because to me, not
Oh.
trying to kiss your ass, but British is,
Oh, do
goddamn.
you like it?
Yeah. Although there are like a million different British
Yeah,
accents.
there are. I'm
The
Essex.
yeah, that's. I was gonna say. I mean, that is kind of the one that, yeah,
That's
does
why
it.
you
Yeah.
asked me on, innit?
Yeah. I mean, that'd be
You're
one of the many
like,
reasons, but yeah.
basically, right? Like so many of them talk like this.
Oh,
Essex. Oh
goddamn.
my God.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that or even like the Yorkshire where it's like almost Scottish.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good one too. What's
Um, well, do you know what? When I watch Manuel Ferrara's videos, like stories, I'm like, oh God, his voice.
that's a good one.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
probably his accent.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that is a good one. All
yeah.
right. Well, this has been awesome. I know I'm pushing on
Same.
time. God
I
damn
told
this.
you I could talk the arse off at the end of a donkey or whatever the
You
saying is, didn't
you
I?
did say something sort of like that I kind of didn't really know what it meant, but I sort of pieced it together.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was an English phrase. I don't even think I
No.
just said it right. Talk the
I
arse
think
of
you
a
said
donkey.
I could talk the ass end off of a donkey,
Yeah,
is what
that
I
is how it
think you
goes, I
said.
think.
And for yeah, it definitely had me kind of confused for a second, but
So,
I did yeah. I used context clues and pieced it together, so we're good to go. But yeah, I was
sorry.
no,
Oh, I
you're
don't
good.
need to apologise, do I? No, I did
Exactly. You don't
say.
need to apologize for that shit. You said what you meant to say.
Intervene. Yeah.
Amen. All right. Well, again, plug, promote everything you'd like. Where can people find you? And yeah.
Yeah. So I'm over on Instagram. I am Kayla Wild, and pretty much all my links are there. And also over on X, Kayla Wild XXX. So yeah, that's
Hell
me.
yeah.